talking citizens trying to take back the streets. We're talking about the LAPD's Hollenbeck division. In a moment, a special hour showing you up close what we're talking about. But first, a troubling new report on violent crime around the nation, maybe even in your city. Here's CNN's Tom Foreman.
In Nevada, a cell phone camera captures a woman screaming, police say, as a man with a knife attacks people at random. In Florida, officers surround an office building where they say a man shot his ex-girlfriend, then went on the run.
The people inside said they did not know the subject that came in, but it would appear that she was the intended victim.
The new report by a national police organization says violent crime is skyrocketing in the nation's big cities. The two-year trend is unmistakable, it says. Homicides rose 10%, robberies up 12%, and assault with firearms climbed 10%. After watching violent crime decrease for more than a decade, federal officials are worried.
We are concerned about the recent increase in crime, and specifically violent crime. We've made great progress in this area, but we still have challenges that we must confront.
Challenges in New Orleans, where leaders are scrambling to knock down a soaring murder rate while trying to build up their city.
We all need to work together, and every tool needs to be deployed. And all of this must be done without delay, without excuse, and without red tape.
Challenges in Houston, another place where the number of murders is climbing steeply.
If you see something happening before it gets out of hand, call the police.
The study shows some cities, such as Washington, D.C., have lowered homicide rates substantially, but that's small consolation to some local leaders here. An appeals court has just struck down a 30-year-old D.C. law banning handguns in homes. Gun rights supporters like the decision, but the mayor does not.
Today's decision flies in the face of laws that have helped decrease gun violence in the District of Columbia.
And he clearly fears the nation's capital could soon join the nation in watching violent crime go up. Tom Foreman, CNN, Washington.
Here in Los Angeles, violent crime overall, except for robbery, has actually dropped over the past 2 years. But at the same time, gang crime is rising. That's up 14% in the last year, with gangs responsible for the majority of murders here and nearly 70% of all the shootings. Much of the violence now happens in neighborhoods where the racial mix has been changing over the years, creating what some are calling an explosive mixture of black and brown. We're now from CNN's Ted Rowlands.
This Los Angeles street is a deadly symbol of a racial divide between blacks and Latinos.
I've been over here for 11 years. I ain't never really crossed the 206th Street.
206th Street is a dividing line. Darren Brown, who lives on 208th, says he and other African Americans stay on one side, Latinos are on the other, and if you cross, there could be trouble.
If you do, you got a death wish. They gonna take you out. They gonna kill you.
14-year-old Cheryl Green was recently murdered along the 206th Street border. The suspects, both Latinos, are facing hate crime charges. A week before Cheryl Green, it was 34-year-old Arturo Mercado who was shot in his front yard. Police haven't made an arrest in that case, but Latinos are blaming blacks, who they claim started this war by moving into the neighborhood about 15 years ago.
The dividing line is this street.
L.A. Assistant Police Chief Charles Beck blames much of the tension on a Latino gang called 204. He says the gang is motivated by hatred of blacks to the point that the gang's mission, according to the police, is to get African Americans to leave the neighborhood. These police photos show some of the gang's recent hate graffiti. This message says "move," followed by the N-word.
This gang, in a very small area with a very small membership, has managed to put itself at the very top of our enforcement priority because they target people based on race.
So why do these Latino gang members hate blacks? We talked to a 43-year-old Hispanic man who was questioned by police about the Cheryl Green murder. We can't show his face, but listen to some of the things he says about African Americans in his neighborhood.
I just wish they would just leave and go wherever they got to go and just leave us the way we were and everything would be cool. We had a nice little community here, and it's not nice anymore because of them.
What did they bring?
Ghettoism. They brought low life, just dirty, man.
Dirty?
You guys know, man.
Black-brown tension isn't confined to gangs or this neighborhood. It's a problem in many cities, prisons, and even some schools where fights like this one last year in Southern California have broken out between Black and Latino students. In Los Angeles itself, the tension has spilled into places like Watts and Compton, where competition for jobs and housing often pit the two ethnic groups against each other. But 206th Street and its obvious climate of racial hate is the symbolic center of what some believe is a worsening problem. And until there's significant change, Blacks and Latinos will most likely continue to stay on their own side of the street. Ted Willen, CNN, Los Angeles.
Well, now the gang's in a small section of town just east of here. Nearly 7,000 gang members in a 15-square-mile area. Recently, we spent time there. Our report is called Homicide in Hollenbeck, and as you'll see, the setting is deceptive.
At first glance, Hollenbeck is a vibrant, predominantly Latino community. Mom-and-pop stores, strong faith, rich traditions. But there's another side to Hollenbeck, often invisible to outsiders. A community cloaked in fear.
My name's Geeky, I'm from Whitefence. Another gang crosses out. A lot of people fear us, a lot of people hate us. Personally, I'd rather be feared, you know?
My name's Jacob Duggar. I'm a gang enforcement officer for the Hollenbeck Division. Can I get a coattail on one when you get a chance? We were the ones that respond when innocent people fall victim to these gang members.
Take care of my boys for me. My name is Soledad Brock. My son, Ronald Brock, got killed February 2002. He was shot 7 times.
The LAPD's Hollenbeck Division covers 15 square miles in the shadow of downtown Los Angeles. It's fertile ground for gangs. Nearly a third of the residents live in poverty. Unemployment is twice the national rate.
Police say Hollenbeck has the highest concentration of gangs in all of Los Angeles. They count 34 gangs here with some 6,800 members and associates. You go to any street, any corner in Hollenbeck, and you'll find it's claimed by a gang.
East Lake Gang is directly below us.
Officer Jake Duggar has worked gangs for years.
He knows them all.
Like over around County General would be State Street. North of us would be where me and my partner are, El Sereno. And there's Lock Street, Lowell. It's ready for any bitch out there. Highlands, Rose Hills, and 18th Street. Just kind of off in the distance there between USCMC and the city skyline. You have everything down there. MC4s, Quattro Flats, Primera